In this episode, I want to talk about something I call the lies we believe. Our culture is so consistent in really telling us a bunch of lies that we really have to recognize so that we don't buy into them and believe what's really not true. I think for singles especially, there are a lot of lies that are purposed and promoted in our culture. The first lie I want to talk about is the lie that I really am incomplete without a relationship. Boy, is that ever one that's out there in magazines and television shows, this subtle message that, until I have a relationship, I'm really not complete. The truth is, and I believe it's so important to know the truth because the truth sets us free. The truth is really how it really is. Not what we're told, which are the lies, but the truth that will set us free. The truth, in contrast to the lie that I'm incomplete without a relationship, is that wholeness really comes on our own. No other person can make us a whole person. And personal wholeness is something so important to success in relationships. Personal wholeness is what I like to compare to having a full plate. I mean, imagine you sit down for dinner with one of your friends, or even more importantly, when you're in a relationship, and you sit down, and unless we're personally whole, we come to the table with these plates, and sort of like a little cracker, maybe a saltine, and maybe an olive or two. We're really broken. We don't have much to offer. We haven't really cultivated a lot of fullness in our life. So now I sit down with someone who's typically very similar to me, because that's the kind of person we attract, is people like ourselves. So now that person sits down, and they've got a barely full plate. And now I'm just hoping that they have something on their plate that can feed me. And they're, of course, hoping for the same. The reality is that we both walk away hungry because we really didn't have much to offer. But personal wholeness is so wonderful because it's like coming to the table with a full plate. Things that I've been getting healed in my life, things I've been cultivating to add, dreams and visions and qualities and characteristics that I've really spent time working on in my own life. Now I come to the table with a full plate, and so does the person that I'm attracting in my life. And we have such a joyful time together because he can share what's on my plate, and I can have some of what's on his plate. And guess what? Not only are we full after our meal together, but there is more than enough for other people. So our relationship overflows to other people in our lives. That's what personal wholeness looks like. It's something we all need to strive for, and the times of singleness in our life are perfect chances to really focus on personal wholeness. So the second lie I believe that we're told by our culture is that sex is not sacred. In reality, sex is very sacred. It's meant to be sacred. Unfortunately, if we don't realize that, we treat it like a cheap gift. I remember a number of years ago I was asked to speak at a high school, and it was on Valentine's Day. And they asked me to come in and talk to the kids, the students, about the preciousness of sex as a gift in our lives. And I thought, how can I get this message across to these young kids? Some of them were in 6th grade. It went from middle school to high school. So what I did is I wrapped a big, huge cardboard box with the most beautiful, exquisite wrapping paper and the most gorgeous bow. And inside that big box, I put a whole lot of other smaller gifts that I wrapped in various kinds of paper and bows. And as I stood up and talked to them about sex being a gift, I said, this is what sex is supposed to be, a gift that you have, that you're going to be careful about giving away. Obviously, for me, I believe it only belongs in the confines of marriage, in the commitment, in the joy of being married, knowing that the person I wake up with tomorrow is not going to leave me. But I really stressed to these kids, this is a gift. And I said, and guess what? Not only is sex a gift, but it brings with it all kinds of other gifts. And so then I took off the cover of the box and I said, the gift of excitement, the gift of joy. When you protect this gift of sex, you can have fullness of joy because you're not out giving yourself away on the weekends, hoping for someone to feed our need and really appreciate us for the way we're meant to be appreciated. The gift of no regret, the gift of real fullness and healthy relationships. There's an airplane going overhead, so it may be a little noisy for a minute. But as I explained to these students that sex is truly a gift, that it's meant to be cared for, that there is a time in our lives when that gift is ready to be given to someone that we're going to commit to for a lifetime. When we understand that, then what do? We protect that gift. We don't just start doing what so many people do, and then what I did was I started ripping that paper off that box and kicking that box around and lifting the lid off and throwing those presents everywhere and just beating them up, treating sex not like a sacred gift, but as something casual to just be given away. And it gets back to the issue of personal wholeness. If I'm not whole, then I will treat things, including sex, as a casual, not to be treasured thing in my life. Those students loved it. In fact, I heard not too long ago from someone who told me that now, probably 8 years later, they still remember that illustration. I think it's a great one. Sex is sacred. It's a gift to be enjoyed forever with the person that I'm committed to for a lifetime. I hope these truths and these lies that I've highlighted are going to help you. In the next episode, I've got 2 more to share. In the meantime, I'm cheering you on.